Hi, if you're seeing these solutions on YouTube, click on the description below, take these as a test and then check out the solutions for free.
Which of the following is true? The diagonals of a rectangle are perpendicular to each other. Diagonals of a rectangle. The diagonals of a rectangle will be equal to each other. They need not be perpendicular to each other. Right? Diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Of a rectangle bisect each other and are equal. They need not be perpendicular to each other. A good way to kind of imagine this is draw a rectangle that is as far away from a square as possible, and then draw this angle, draw the diagonals. You can straight away see that this is not a 90-degree angle. And sometimes drawing a wacky diagram could simplify it. Diagonals of a rectangle are perpendicular to each other. That should be the case for every rectangle. So draw an obscure rectangle and see the picture. Yeah. The diagonals of a parallelogram are perpendicular bisectors of each other. Not true. This one is not true. Diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular bisector of each other. Parallelogram, the diagonals will bisect each other. For a rectangle, they will bisect each other and be equal. For a rhombus, they will bisect each other and be perpendicular to each other. For a square, they bisect, they are perpendicular, they are equal. The diagonals of an isosceles trapezium are equal. This is interesting. Isosceles trapezium is a shape where one pair of sides is parallel and the other pair is equal. So these two are equal, these two are parallel. This is one diagonal, this is another diagonal. Will the diagonals be equal to each other? It's an interesting question. So will the diagonals be equal to each other? And then isosceles trapezium is a symmetric diagram. So the two top angles are equal, the two base angles are equal. If you say this is ABCD, angle DAC will be equal to angle BCD. Sorry, angle ADC will be equal to angle BCD. Angle DAB will be equal to angle CBA. Right? So if you take triangles ADC and triangle BCD, right? DC is common, AD equal to BC, and angle in between is equal. These are congruent triangles because of SAS congruence. So diagonal AC should be equal to diagonal BD. This is true. The diagonals of a rhombus are equal. Rhombus diagonals bisect each other and they are perpendicular. They need not be equal. Once again, A, B and D are not true. C has to be true. Once again, for a rhombus, draw an obscure rhombus. All four sides should be equal, but you can draw them like this. Draw the diagonals of this rhombus. The moment you draw the diagonals of the rhombus, you can sense that they need not be equal. They're perpendicular, they bisect each other, but they are not equal. And so this is not true, this is not true, this is not true, this is indeed true.